After magical islands of Kornati and Dugiotok, we're sailing along another fascinating island, Ugljan. This island has been known since antiquity as a place with unique quality olive oil and, of course, olive groves. We'll explore small islands which look like they were frozen in time. And if you wish to escape everyday reality, these will seem like a dream. Stay with us. The island of Ugljan is a part of the Zadar archipelago and the closest island to the cultural and economical center of the county, the town of Zadar, is only few nautical miles away. They also call it the Green Island, since it is covered in densely growing evergreen shrubs, pine trees, olive trees, fig trees, grapevine, and numerous other Mediterranean plants. It has been tied to the sea for generations, with sailing and fishing as the most traditional occupations. Along with a 2,000 years old tradition of olive growing. Hundreds of thousands of olive trees allow for another special ancient tradition of producing olive oil of supreme taste and quality. First place on the north of the island is Ugljan. Extremely shallow shore is the first thing that caught our attention. One needs to take special care if you're coming by boat or a sailboat with a deeper draft. In certain areas, our sonar showed depths of less than 2 meters, and it is important to monitor signaling and navigational charts. The sea bottom is sandy but also rocky, and it can be very dangerous for careless sailors. In the very center, there is the monastery of Saint Hieronym, built in 1430. Monuments from early antiques are preserved in Moline. Villa Rustica, late antique mausoleum, the remains of an early Christian basilica, and a monumental building from the 1st century, built for oil processing. In the 16th and 17th centuries, noble families from nearby town of Zadar built their villas and castles here. Just like on the majority of Croatian islands at the end of 19th century, a large number of people abandoned the island in a search for a better life, emigrating mostly to Americas and Australia. A small place of Sutomišćica is situated in a large protected bay. Numerous cultivated gardens and groves stand witness to their local citizens' hardworking and diligent hands. Rich pomegranate trees ripen in September around the day of Saint Euphemia, saint patron of this place. Baroque summer house of the Zadar family Lantana from the 17th century is worth the visit. Due to its exceptional position, Sutomišćica offers safe anchorage for sailors. The marina is protected from the winds from all sides, and we can safely say that this is one of the safest marinas in the Adriatic. There's not much we could add with words about the beauty and quality of the environment of this area. Just enjoy the view. It is really no wonder that in the evaluation of the Croatian Tourist Board, this marina was voted as the best small marina in the Adriatic. In addition to the many attractions of additional facilities, the marina stands out with its excellent cuisine. We enjoyed the exquisite dinner of typical Dalmatian dishes, seasoned with olive oil from the island of Ugljan, perhaps from these berry groves at the marina. The platter of cold appetizers consisted of octopus salad, cheese from the island of Pag, Dalmatian prosciutto ham, dried cured pork meat, traditional produce from Zadar area, tuna pate, and of course, homemade black and green olives. Our heads were spinning from everything that was on offer for the main course. Adriatic tuna fish steak with chard, Tagliata beefsteak alla rustic. Hand-rolled, spindle-shaped kljukanci pasta with shrimp. Sea bass fillet with dried tomato pesto on the bed of stir-fried vegetables. Colourful Mediterranean wok with shrimp and crab with vegetables and pasta. Grilled beefsteak with vegetables and Mediterranean potato. For dessert, we were served a wonderful sweet platter consisting of panna cotta with cherry sauce, cheesecake with cherry topping, semifreddo with nuts, chocolate cake with 85% cocoa, and creme brulee with Bailey's cream. We were very pleasantly surprised by the very reasonable price, especially considering the ambience and top-quality food and service. At the southeast end of the island of Ugljan, there is a small tourist and fishing village, Kukljica. The old town centre core, with authentic examples of traditional construction, is divided from the large natural bay but protected harbour. Always overflowing with fishing boats, yachts and sailboats. A walk along the coast is a real pleasure for everyone, as is a promenade that leads to the attractive sandy beach, resting in shade of ancient pine trees. First known written mention of Kukljica is from a document of 1106, published by Tadia Smichiklas in Codex Diplomaticus, with a proof of a donation of olive groves to the monastery of St. Krševan in Zadar. Construction of stone houses, typical indigenous Dalmatian style of building, is especially visible in Kukljica. Buildings created in rural areas have rustic features and are pretty modest in shape and size. These are small but consistent rural buildings that radiate warmth of the Mediterranean climate. Their formation was conditioned by many demands. First of all, traditions and culture of the environment, climate and material, stone. Houses are built in continuation of each other and forming a small, perfectly formed square. The square and the group of houses form a court. In the town centre, there is a Baroque parish church of St. Pavle, built in 1666, on the foundations of an older church. The bell tower was built in the 18th century and is 25 meters high. In an interesting local tavern, we had an opportunity to peek inside the kitchen and find out how octopus is traditionally prepared. A small trick is to keep the octopus frozen for 2 to 3 days, so the flesh would be soft and tender. Then it is slowly cooked and added into the pot along with potatoes, vegetables and herbs. The secret ingredient is olive oil from Kukljica. Normally, baking is done on a hearth by covering the pot with hot ember. But due to strong winds and bad weather conditions, one can use a pot and a stove. An interesting specialty on the island of Ugljan is čičvarda, soup with cuttlefish, chickpeas and gnocchi. Due to weather conditions out here, this warm dish is perfect to warm us up. Stormy winds lasted all day and made considerable damage. The sky cleared and the wind turned to the northwest and made considerable waves in the sea. We are fighting with waves and slowly progressing towards our next destination, the island of Ist. Ist is a small island with about 200 inhabitants on an area of less than 10 square kilometers. It was first mentioned in 1311 under the name Ost. And in 1527 under the name Isto. The name is of Illyrian origin and its meaning is unknown. Croats that migrated to this region found native Romans here, from which they took over some of present names for islands and capes around Ist. On the island, there is a village bearing the same name, with 2 shops, 2 bars, a pizza place and 3 restaurants. Ist was for many years a destination for sailors, divers and fishermen. Most tourists that come to the island are attracted by the natural beauty, rich history and outstanding hospitality. The small island is ideal for an escape from all the hustle and bustle of modern lifestyle. In addition to enjoying the peace and quiet and beautiful nature, there is little more to do, so you really can completely unwind. Right next to the island Ist, there is another interesting island, Silba. In 17th century, Silba's maritime business flourished, and captains from Silba became known as the most skilled and experienced ones. In the second half of the 19th century, local populations started vast emigrations to Americas and Australia, and the number of inhabitants started to rapidly decline. Today, Silba has only about 1,200 inhabitants. During winter months, some 300 inhabitants reside on the island, but that number increases drastically every summer and autumn. Today's most popular industry on the island is tourism, with an ever-expanding number of small producers of cheese and wines, and a flourishing production of health and beauty products based on natural ingredients. Silba is also called an island of pedestrians, since there are no cars on the island, so it is completely safe for children and pets that can roam around safely. The most frequently mentioned attraction on Silba is Torreta. It is a hexagonal tower with external spiral staircase. It is located in the center of the village, near the local post office, and it is 15 meters high. Torreta was, according to a legend, built in 19th century by the captain Petar Marinic, as a memory of his loved one. Sailors will be interested to know there are 2 docks on the island. The one on the west, Mol, is older and a main dock, and Jalic is a newer one. An interesting fact is that between the 2 docks, the island is only 700 meters wide, so you can easily walk from one end to the other. The village stretches from coast to coast, so this is actually the ideal way of exploring the place. After a whole day spent at sea, we decided to take shelter and rest in the safety of the marina, to check the condition of our boat and get ready for the rest of our journey. Nearby, there's the island of Pag, and the ACI Marina Shimuni, which is where we're going to spend the night. The island of Pag, with its seemingly raw vistas, offers a different picture than the one you're used to on the Adriatic islands. Here, the colors are different. The structure of stone is unusual, and the sun shines almost all year round. A careful visitor will discover the real wealth of history, culture, gastronomy, and all those little things that hard-working locals created with their hands. In order to survive in the environment different from the others. The largest of the islands is scarcely covered in vegetation, and its rocky landscape resembles the lunar surface. Sheep graze on occasional blade of grass from harsh rocky terrain, covered with salt brought on by strong winds from the Velebit Channel, which constantly blow at the foot of the Velebit mountain. In the marina, there are 191 mooring berths and 45 dry berths. We're looking forward to the restaurant at the marina with excellent selection of fish dishes. Another thing that every yachtsman finds comforting and thrilling is good quality sanitary facilities with numerous showers. Something we all long for at the end of the day. There's a repair shop, a crane that lifts up to 15 tons, and a slip for boats of up to 8 meters. There's also a small shop at the marina, where one can purchase some basic food and supplies for the boat. For guests arriving by car, there's secured parking. The marina doesn't have a gas station, but the nearest one is at Novalja Harbour, some 7 nautical miles to the north. We are up for spending a relaxing afternoon and a peaceful night over here. And in the morning we continue on our journey. Tune in to the next episode of SAILHO Croatia.